The Navy today authorized the city of Norfolk to drill 2 wells on the Navy's driver antenna site, a 600-acre tract of federal land located in the city of Suffolk.
Do you expect any resistance from Suffolk?
We are authorizing the city of Norfolk to pump. The Navy's proposal has been accepted by the city, and Norfolk will be responsible for bearing all costs and liabilities associated with the drilling, and has guaranteed continued water service to the Navy in accordance with existing contract terms and conditions which provide the water supply to all Navy facilities in the Tidewater area. The use of the 2 wells on Driver, with an anticipated yield of 4 million gallons per day per well, will be effective for the duration of the existing water emergency and will extend to future water shortages adversely impacting the Navy's operational readiness posture.
These people are angry because Norfolk plans to dig wells across the street from their homes on Navy property in Suffolk. Sue Wright first noticed the drilling equipment coming into the area Monday afternoon, just about the same time the Navy was announcing it would allow Norfolk to sink the wells.
I told my husband, I said, boy, somebody's really going to dig a well there. I didn't know it was going to be in my backyard, though.
And Wright says when the neighborhood heard the announcement on the 6 o'clock news, panic broke out.
It's not fair and it's not right, and they done it the wrong way coming in the back door.
We just paid $5,000 to sink that well, and if they pull all them gallons a day from our well, we're going to be sitting there with no water.
These Suffolk residents are upset and concerned that they'll be damaged by the wells that Norfolk plans to drill right here on this site. And according to the man who'll drill the wells, they're absolutely right.
A well this close to them would definitely affect them. So they would naturally be harmed by a well this close to them because they no longer get water out of the well.
Meantime, the Navy and the city of Norfolk delayed reporters from going to see the drilling equipment for almost a half an hour. Finally, media members were allowed in, but only after Utility Director John Kemper told his aides via a 2-way radio not to let the TV crews film the protesters.
All I want to do is film the rig. I don't want them filming a bunch of people and all that.
Although Norfolk has finally found a site to sink 2 of its deep wells, the city's legal problems are far from over. And it appears the only way this issue will finally be settled is in a court of law. Mike Deason, Area 10 Eyewitness News, Driver. Daniel was drawn into the controversy after Suffolk residents wrote him asking for help in their battle to keep Norfolk from drilling wells on Navy property across the street from their homes. And the congressman says the Navy might be wrong in letting Norfolk drill on the land.
I think at a minimum the Navy is proving itself a very bad citizen in these communities.
Daniel says he will come to the aid of the angry Suffolk residents who for the 2nd straight day staged a protest across from the drilling site. The Republican congressman says his first move will be to pressure the Navy immediately.
And see that the well-being, the sources of water for the citizens of Suffolk are not threatened as they seem to be.
Meantime, Suffolk residents say a Norfolk proposal to reimburse them if their wells run dry is just not acceptable.
I'm saying if they pump me dry, you mean to tell me they're going to say, well, we got to study this so I'm out of water until they decide that they are the fault? No way. They think that we're a bunch of dummies or country hicks out here. We're not.
And Suffolk Councilman J.W. Nelms says he, too, will help keep the pressure up.
I'm out here because I represent Sleepy Hole Borough and these people here, right. And I'm going to represent them as long as I'm on that city council.
The reason for this protest is so these people can get publicity and public opinion on their side in their fight with the Navy in an effort to keep their wells from going dry. Mike Deason, Area 10 Eyewitness News, Driver. Although Norfolk still plans to drill 2 wells on this Navy property in Suffolk, the drilling is apparently in jeopardy. 4th District Congressman Robert Daniel asked the Chief of Naval Operations, Thomas Hayward, to negotiate with Suffolk, whose residents are upset about the wells going in. And Hayward has assured Daniel that the Navy will do just that.
What is sought here is not a flow of conversation one way, but an exchange of views and a give and take.
Meantime, in Norfolk, SEPSA officials did agree to work on a regional water plan, but then spent 2 hours arguing whether Norfolk should be allowed to put a device it says it needs here on the Nottoway River in Southampton County. That device would allow the river to be pumped at its lower levels. Despite the bickering, Colonel Douglas Haller of the Army Corps of Engineers indicates he'll approve the necessary permits so the device can be constructed.
You can't wait until you're out of water to start putting it in there. The definition of an emergency is when you have to take action in advance to preclude this from occurring.
But SEPSA members from Southampton County contend the device will hurt its citizens and say there's a better than 50-50 chance the county will go to court.
What standing does the objection of Southampton County have in this? Apparently, according to what's been said here, it doesn't have any. But on the Code of Virginia, I think it does.
The basic problem still is that a regional water system must be established, or as Chesapeake Mayor Sid Oman explained, the localities will be squabbling like this for the next 90 years. Mike Deason, Area 10 Eyewitness News, Norfolk.